Hey, what's up everyone? So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the archive release of Chewbacca. So a while back, right down there, I made some steps for the Yavin ceremony. I just made them out of styrofoam and painted them. It turned out okay, but I've been wanting an open-mouthed Chewbacca to stand beside Han Solo, so I was pretty happy that they were releasing this Chewbacca in the archive line. I got this one for about $18, and I think it's going to look good. And of course, it comes on an archive card. Got Star Wars The Black Series up top, archive there, Chewbacca over here. Through the bubble, you can see Chewie with the open mouth. Love it. Got his bowcaster in 2 pieces. And down there, you got a really good looking picture of Chewbacca. On the bottom, you have the barcode and some logos and some very small print that no one reads. And on the back, they have the same picture as the front, just more of it. Now, as you know, on these archive releases, they put the original release right here. I think they may have screwed up. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't mind being wrong, but I'm pretty sure this 2015 red and black box release, this one had a closed mouth. This should have been the 2014 blue line release. That one had an open mouth. Yeah, kind of weird. But then you have a short bio in 5 different languages and then some warnings down there that no one looks at. And I'll just read the bio real quick if I can see it. It says, faithful first mate and co-pilot Chewbacca has loyally stood by his captain's side through the twisting fortunes of a galaxy in turmoil. All right, I'm going to get this archive release of Chewbacca open, and let's take a look at him. All right, so I got this archive version of Chewbacca open, and I'm thinking this may be a relatively short review. I mean, it's Chewie, it's just brown fur. And like I mentioned, I'm pretty sure this is from 2014, not 2015. The open mouth, and there is some differences in the torso as well. So we'll get to that in a second. But let's get a look at him. Let's take a look at the paint on the face and the eyes. I think the eyes look great. Nice black nose, looks very good. The teeth are nice. You can sort of see his tongue in there. Yeah, I think the face looks great. The rest of the fur, it's just brown, just various shades of brown from top to bottom. The bandolier, I think, looks really nice. Got some, some weathering on it. The little silver little buckles down here, I think, look really good. Yeah, the bandolier as a whole, I think looks fine, looks great. But the shading is nicely done. It's a little bit different from the other Chewies that I have. Some gray on the hands and some gray on the toes. Apart from that, it's Chewie. It's just brown fur. But I am digging the open mouth. I think the teeth look great. The eyes are really good. It's a good looking Chewie. And for comparisons, so this is the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back Chewie. And you can tell, this one's a little bit taller, and I think the height comes from here. And again, we'll get to that very soon. But the shading is a little bit different. This one is a little more just dark brown and light brown. This one almost has some like gray, kind of thrown in, especially in the face, all up in here and in here. This is just a lot of brown. I think the shading fades a little better on this one versus this one. I mean, this one just kind of stops right there. And it kind of stops right here. Well, it does kind of stop there too. But in the chest, I think it fades a little better on the archive version. Slight differences, but if you remember on Empire, and like Vandor, the Chewie that came with 3PO, it just has a single cut right here at the midsection. A little bit of crunch, a little bit of back, some side to side, and some swivel, right? The archive version has a cut up here as well as down here. So you really have much better twist and still kind of the same amount of forward and back and side to side. Yeah, there's another cut there because I'm thinking this is where the extra height comes from, because you can see he's taller, just a little bit. The shoulders are a little bit higher on this one. Everything else is pretty much the same. So I'm thinking the added height comes from this other cut in here. All right, it's pretty close, but you can see these arms are a little higher. So I'm thinking in here, just kind of raised him up a little bit. All right, real quick. I was doing some more research on this figure because I didn't own the 2014 version or the 2015 version. And I was looking at some pictures, and I did notice that the 2015 version had swivels here and here, right, on the torso, an upper and a lower swivel on the torso. But on the 2015 version, the mouth was not this open. And the bandolier, if you look at this picture, the bandolier is completely different in this picture. I don't know if it's just the picture or if that's how it was. I don't know. I didn't own that one or the one with the open mouth from 2014. But I just want to throw this in here that it's almost like this is a hybrid of the 2015 body with the 2014 head. Maybe. Somebody, please comment below and get this straightened out because I'm kind of puzzled. Anyway, back to the video. As far as articulation, you know, you got some side to side at the head. Not a whole lot of anything else. I mean, just a little bit of tilt. Yeah, he's pretty tight in the neck. The arms do go up all the way. Well, not all the way. They go up to about right there. They can rotate around. Now, the elbows on Chewie, as you know, are pretty poor. You know, they don't even get to 90, but you do have a swivel at the elbow, swivel at the wrist, hinge side to side on the right, and side to side on the left. And as far as swivel, we talked about the swivel. You know, this is my first time owning this particular Chewie. Swivel up top and swivel below. Legs go up to there. Okay, this front piece is relatively soft. Swivel up at the thigh, swivel at the knee. Single knees get up to 90. Feet go down a little bit. They don't go up much at all because of the first sculpt, and you do have some swivel at the ankle. So not the best articulation in the world. I found this kind of interesting, you know, because again, the other 3 Chewies I have, the 40th, the Chewie that came with 3PO, and Vandor Chewie from Solo are all on this body. This is new to me. And as far as accessories, there's the bowcaster that comes with the archive version of Chewbacca, and this is great. Lots of nice detail in there. You know, it's kind of a gray plastic. Got some nice detail on the scope. All this in here looks great. And of course, this part will just plug in right there in the front. Okay, that looks very nice. And if you compare it to the one that came with the 40th anniversary of Empire Chewie, there's not near as much detail in there as on this one. And the archive version is a little bit longer. It looks like this may have broken off, but I know for a fact that this did not take a dive and snap off. That's just how it is. Yeah, the one that came with archive is a little bit longer, but the detail is so much better on this one. I'm thinking this one's a little bit bowed too. And just for the sake of the video, I thought I would see what the archive Chewie looks like holding his bowcaster. And it goes in okay. I mean, this thing is kind of difficult to get in his hand. His hand is super tight, but I mean, he can hold it in one hand pretty well. And for 2 hands, I mean, yeah, you can get it down here sort of at a relaxed stance. But, you know, getting Chewie in some kind of firing pose, nah, just these elbows are so bad. I mean, he can fire low. That's about it. All right, I'm going to go stick this guy on the shelf and see what he looks like next to Han Solo at the Yavin ceremony. And there we have it. And I think this looks pretty good, you know, because Chewie did sort of howl at the end of A New Hope when they were all standing there. I really wanted an open-mouthed Chewie, and I think that looks pretty good, you know, for this scene especially. And again, I just built these steps out of styrofoam and painted them, you know, to kind of make them look like stone or something. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's not terrible. I think it looks good there. I think it looks very good. Now, of course, you can get picky. You know, Leia was about 2 steps above them, and Chewie was down on the floor. And of course, I need a clean R2 and 3PO to go over here. But this is what I got so far, and I think that does look pretty good. I'm just going to leave him just like this, just standing there, just like Luke and Han, you know, at the end of the Yavin ceremony. And I'm going to stick that better bowcaster from this guy in Empire Chewie's hand, because that's a much better looking weapon. But I'm pretty happy with this. So bottom line, it's a nice Chewie. It's kind of weird that it's a little taller, but you know, separate on the shelf and 2 different scenes, it's totally fine. If you have them side by side, yeah, it may look a little odd, but they're going to be in 2 different sections of the display. So I'm totally fine with this being a hair taller. The shading is a little bit different. I do like the more brown. You know, the gray is nice, but it's kind of weird how it just sort of stops. I never really noticed that. This one fades a little better. I think that's cool. The open mouth is great. The eyes look, well, I think the eyes look good on both. I mean, this one looks a little more lifelike. I don't know. Comment below. They're both good, but I wanted this one just for that specific scene. Comment below. I want to hear from you guys and let me know what you think of this archive release of Chewbacca. And if you enjoy videos on Star Wars The Black Series, please consider dropping a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and please turn on notifications. I'd certainly appreciate it. And I just thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.